Matthias Mpuuga Nsamba olwalira kiguddeko mu Parliament ku nsonga z'abannafu basuuza bali mu kwekalakaasa olw'omusolo ogwekanamye ogususse. Kati nno y'omu kwaba bali mu kabondo k'abalya ensimbi z'omuwoomusolo ababba omusolo omuyitirivu ogugibwa ku bannayuganda ne bannayuganda ne batandika okunyigirizibwa ne batafuna services olw'abantu nga ye ate nga babba ensimbi z'omuwoomusolo bazigabana bugabanyi ng'ebitumbuwa. Kati nno abali abadde bageza okwogera ku nsonga z'abasuubuzi Kyatuseko alifa kirojja asira tulabe ebibadde mu Parliament nga waye ensonga ze ate tulabe.
Much obliged, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, a year ago I presented to the country the better model of allocating resources to government entities. And I implored the Parliament that we needed to get into an arrangement where we vote for an entity money depending on the jobs they are going to create. And apparently, if you ask the Minister of Finance, who also does planning, to inform Parliament how many jobs were created in the last financial year, I'm very sure they wouldn't have that information. To submit to Parliament how many jobs were lost, so that we have a comparative analysis of jobs gained and lost. Then you would know why we are where we are. In other jurisdictions that are better democracies, governments fall because of jobs created and jobs lost. Here we do not care because that's not the matter. It depends on how much energy you have. Right Honorable Speaker, URA submitted to Parliament in this budget process is policy statement. And they are reporting that actually they are going to register a decline of revenue growth. Even during COVID, you had a trajectory of growth of 9%. They are projecting a decline of almost 4% in this period. And when you follow what's happening in that entity, there's a huge job turnover. So many senior employees are leaving, and nobody explains why. I beg your pardon, Right Honorable Speaker. And then we are seeing that URA has turned into a target entity. They are preoccupied with their targets, not a facilitator of stability, of growth of the country. You see, when you're preoccupied with the target, you lose sight of who are you targeting. They don't care as long as they collect money from you and you close and they get their target. Where they'll get money next year, it's not a matter. Right Honorable Speaker, we need to interest ourselves in how URA operates. And right now, Right Honorable Speaker, the Finance Committee is considering tax bills. The Minister of Finance is reporting to Parliament that they will give their views on the view that the threshold of VAT should change and the percentage in 2 weeks' time. Is Parliament going to work backwards? When we are beginning the debate on the reports of committees, I advised that we needed the Finance Committee to report urgently on the revenue side of their report, so that we are able to do the final budget aware of the resource envelope. So now what will happen to the reports from the Finance Committee on the tax bills if the Minister or the Minister of Finance is thinking about revisiting VAT threshold and the percentage? There are issues, Right Honorable Speaker, and I think the supervision of URA is a bit lax. The planning is not consistent, because in the medium term, what did the Minister of Finance plan to achieve in terms of tax revenue growth? Second, Right Honorable Speaker, as Uganda, are we a manufacturing country or a net importer? If we are really net importers, like I know, concluding, Right Honorable Speaker, we are net importers. If you look at our revenue base, we're not manufacturers as a nation. We're just trying to grow manufacturing through through import substitution. So if we don't facilitate the importers that are holding and babysitting and midwifing this economy, we're in their straits. So the Ministry of Finance must supervise URA consistently to rhyme with the medium-term plan of revenue generation and growth. Otherwise, URA and finance seems to be at cross purpose in their targets. And the suffering person is the trader, the business person, is the common man, because they have different targets. They have a plan, URA has their own plan, which is just a target of revenue. And it's a problem. Right, Honourable Speaker, the Ministry of Finance should tell us finally, what are we going to do with the tax bills before Parliament, now that they have a view of revisiting the threshold of VAT from 150 million to another figure, and then the percentage from 18 to another figure. Is that coming, or you gave the traders some bruff to calm down the pressure? Thank you.
Thank you. Aguti. Santa.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I want to add on the high tax rate, which is killing our business. Our businessmen and women, one, I think they should be sensitized on the tax they are paying. For example, the VAT. They don't know much about it, but they just hear about tax. Then two, high interest rates charged by the money lenders. Here, I think the government should come with the policies that protects our businessmen and women, so that when they borrow, they pay with low interest, or when it's protected by the policies of the government. Three, I want to talk about over-taxation on goods. If it can be reduced, this will help our businessmen and women to get something, so that they also help themselves with the income. I talked about widening the tax base, but I think this one will also fall on us. For example, which areas are we going to widen the tax base? Maybe they will also begin taxing our nails when we paint. I don't know, but
you need to know what is taxable. And once you know what is taxable, then you can be able to see, instead of you taxing land, triple taxing land, then you should tax, like what Honorable Yona Musinguze said, that you have the telecom companies. You're not taxing them. Now you're taxing money mobile, but you're not taxing agent banking. That is a tax bill. Unless you want to make nails. So you need to be aware of what is taxable in tax laws. Yes.
Yes, Madam Speaker. I'd not yet finished, but I was saying that maybe tapping into areas that are outside the tax right now, which you have mentioned already. So with this, I want to include that we don't need to only look at Chikubo, but we have businessmen and women outside. For example, business people in Bokolo. They're also crying about this success, and also they're crying about the money lenders. Thank you.
Santa.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, let me thank the Minister for these endeavours of sitting down with the traders. And Madam Speaker, the plight of the traders have really been disregarded for quite a lot of time. There are a lot of challenges, there are a lot of problems that the traders are facing. And Madam Speaker, I think this time around, we are going to use this opportunity to solve the problem. To Madam Speaker, when the Minister was presenting, there were issues that the traders bring. One of them that I didn't see coming clearly was about the non-standardization of value credit goods. Madam Speaker, the principle of good taxation is well known to the Ministry and the Minister himself. I wonder how some importers are charged high, then others are charged less. This in itself discourages some of the traders. So I want to see way forward that the Ministry is coming to deal with this situation. Then three, Madam Speaker, our local businesses. What are the policies? You have said in your submission that the regulation is coming soon. How soon is soon? And then finally, Madam Speaker, we are talking about IFRIS. This IFRIS is supposed to work across the country. We have businessmen and women in the villages, in some other towns. But we are establishing an office in Chikubu for the businessmen and women in Lamo, in Acholi, in Teso. Are they going to come back to Chikubu to get the assistance that they need? Finally, or you are going to give them transport, Honourable Minister, to accept this service. Then, finally, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, from the submission of the Minister, it appears that the Ministry is looking at a day later. This is what I'm also Right Honourable Speaker, currently URA projects that about 4,000 about 4 million about their taxpayers. But there's a potential of growing this to about 12 million taxpayers. But with the inclusion of all these tax increments, they are scaring the inclusion of about 8 million taxpayers. Right, Honourable Speaker, on the issue of tax holidays given to manufacturers, we also discovered that some of these manufacturers, if they are given tax holidays, by the time they are working, the years before they have been given tax holidays, they switch businesses. They move from one business to another and then again another tax holiday. So the government is losing. If we do that, to foreign manufacturers, foreign investors, and we are not doing it, our local investors, our traders, they want to expect what we are seeing the traders in Djibouti doing. You are being fair to the foreign manufacturers, the foreign investors, and unfair to them. So I think this discussion, you help with the traders, we only hope it bears fruit and an amicable solution is brought so that we are fair to them. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you.
Mbeera bwetyo bweri mu palamenti y'Uganda amatasi mumuwulidde nga beekompola ku mbeera nga bweri eggwanga y'abannaffe abasuubuzi naye nga takimanyi nti omu bakulumya abasuubuzi mu mbeera bweti kubanga balinga banasimbi omusolo bazirya nga babbi baziri eno bali eno balya ziri kyokka nga ate abasuubuzi bonaabona ensimbi ezabadde zikola bano bavaabye omusuubuzi asigala nga ali mu kubona asigala nga akaba nga bo balyaza bugenda bo bava namuvaabire batuganyulwa kwa musuubuzi kale abye okuddamu kamba bakumire mweraba.